While other people, I've seen a trend online on social media where other people are decentering men, where other women are saying that they're decentering men because men have always been something that they put on a pedestal. Their mothers did, their grandmothers did, but they are not doing that anymore. I sit down and I think they're not wrong. However, me on the other hand, I am not, my life, my whole journey is actually about decentering systems. I was born, I was chosen, I was selected to decenter systems. For the longest time, I thought after going to school, matric, I will study whatever I want to study, get a job, get married, and have children. I mean, that's what life should look like, right? That's like a system that I don't know who created it, but that is what we all work towards. Excuse me. We study, go to school, matric, you study, whatever career, choose a career, you study. After you study, you meet the love of your life, you get married, you have children, and you work, build a life together. And that's basically it. Simple and straightforward, right? And there is some of us that once you've gone through something, once you have healed from something, once you are on the outside, you learn to understand that life has not always been kind to you. All the things you've been thinking, planning, working towards didn't come together because they were not in alignment with who you are. Let me go back a little bit. After matric, I took a gap year. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I was unprepared for the world. I was just, I was not in the right space of mind. I was like, nope, this is a time to slow down for me. Everybody didn't agree with what I did, but I did it anyway because I was living with my aunt at the time. I moved back home. I was home for a year, lived a slow life, took care of myself, took a break from the world. And by the time I was out of here, after a year, I was more energetic. I was ready to face the world. Because that's exactly how I live right now, which I take breaks in between my life. I'm not a go, go, go person. So, but this is how my life really started. And after the gap year, then I moved to Pretoria, from Rustenburg to Pretoria. I went to school, found a school, and I pushed on. About a year, 2 years, 2.5 years, the system collapsed again. Studying didn't go the way I wanted it to go, didn't finish my studies. There was this financial problems. Tried to apply for student aid. It didn't work. It didn't work out. For some reason, documents were missing, closing dates. Like there was just always something that kind of prevented me from studying. I didn't finish, look for a job. It wasn't difficult to get a job. I don't know why, but I got a job within a few months, started working, moved to another one within a few months, moved to another one. I never struggled to find a job. Never struggled to find a job. If I would pull up my CV now, a year, in each and every job, every experience I've had, all of them under a year. Every year I'll change. I'd apply. One interview, I got the job. One interview, I got the job. Never done second interviews. No, it always has been one, and I get the job. Study, not for me. Job, yeah, until a specific point. And I promise you, every single year after that, I will go back home for a couple of months. Take a breather break, 3 months, go back to the city life. I would always do the village life for a few months and then go back to the city life. Always has been. Never noticed the trend until now that I've actually been this person where I get overwhelmed and I get tired of the world and I need to regulate. And regulating is coming back home to the village life because somehow there's a connection with me and the village life. Then I didn't know, but I just did it because when I felt like I was overwhelmed, I'll tap out of whatever, leave everything behind, come back home, rest, take care of myself, live the easy life, stay indoors. Because when I regulate myself, I stay indoors. I am in the house all the time. I go out only when it's necessary. And back then I used to think that it was because I never wanted the sun to burn me because it's a village and somehow the sun is hotter than in the city life. I don't know. But most times when I came back home, I'd come back darker for some weird reason. So I'd stay in the house most of the time because I didn't want the sun yet. I would stay in the house so that my complexion doesn't change. But I now understand why, because it was how I regulated my system because I needed the indoors. And that's exactly what I do now. I'm in the city for a few months and I'm back into the village for other few months. I spend a lot of time in the villages now, more than the city, but I still need the city life every now and then. And now you've learned that you need to work. Move, 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 move. So some of the systems that I'm decentering right now is the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 is one of the systems I am decentering. Another one is relationships, traditional relationships, where there's no partnership. One person is the leader and one person is the follower. Those are some of the systems that we are decentering. This comes from inherited trauma because it comes from systems that were designed before that a man must be a leader and a woman must submit and be the one that stays at home and listens to command. It feels marriage actually, for me, in my eyes, feels like a boot camp. It's not about happiness for the woman. It's not about what the woman wants. It's more about what the man wants. It's more about what the man wants. Women are not supposed to be happy. Women are not expressive. Women are followers. They follow commands. They follow rules. They get told what to do by their husbands. I don't believe in that. I believe in partnership. I believe in let's support each other. Let's live. Let's be there for each other. Let's grow together. I've always believed in that. But I was not always lucky to get someone that was a partner. I always get men that dictate. That want to tell you what to do, where to go, what to eat, who to hang out with, what to wear. I wasn't always lucky. Why? Was I attracting them so I can learn their traits? Maybe, I don't know. But some of the systems that I am decentering is imbalanced relationships that are not partnership based, where one person has to do the emotional labor, one person has to always be the problem solver, and the other one creates problems. going to work, working a 9 to 5, having a boss is one of the systems that I'm decentering. Friendships that are taking, friendships that are toxic, friendships that are delays in people's lives, friendships that pull you back, friendships that delay your growth in life. Those are some of the systems I'm decentering because I do not have friends. I choose not to have friends because I've seen how having friends can be a delay in someone's life. I remember at some point I didn't have friends before I met my ex husband a couple of years ago. I didn't have friends. I spent a lot of time by myself. I'd go to work. When I come back from work, I'd spend the whole entire weekend by myself before I met my ex husband. I will spend the whole weekend indoors because that's how I regulated myself. I didn't have the language for it. I didn't understand why I was doing it, but I would go to work. Weekends, I'm indoors all the time. And then how it started, I met people, of course. As in when you're moving around, you start becoming close with people. And other people are used to lifestyle of moving around, partying, going out. And you kind of adopt that lifestyle. You spend time with them. It's something that I didn't really have much of because I never used to have friends. I used to spend a lot of time by myself before I met my ex-husband. And then I met a couple of friends. We met, me and him, through other friends. And from there on, he was big on friendships. He had, more than 100 friends, I think. If I'm thinking at a number at the top of my head. He was a socialite. He enjoyed the social lifestyles. He partied a lot. He attended a lot of gatherings, which is something I've never believed in, and it's something that I've never put my energy and attention to. I've never liked gatherings, social gatherings, whether weddings, socials, funerals. I don't even believe in attending funerals. I don't believe in all sorts of those things. I don't believe in those. I've never believed in them. But because I was with someone that actually value those things so much, it already shows you that we are misaligned. But I was also trying to fit in at some point because I'm like, okay, since we are together, me and this man, it means we must do things together. But most of the time we were doing what he wanted more than what I wanted. I enjoyed the indoors more, but I didn't mind going out. So at some points he would be out a lot and I would be indoors a lot. So we only spend time when he was home. But if he was not home, he would be out. We see each other a couple of hours during the day. And that relationship kind of worked better then. And then the tables turned, where I then started going out more. The more I grew into the relationship, the more it started becoming like I was confined. It felt like I wasn't myself anymore. I wasn't feeling anymore. It was just becoming too much. I started making more friends, new friends actually, because the other friends I had before I met him, we were not friends anymore. Even friendships didn't last in my life. Like literally, people came and went, people came and left. That is exactly my life. That has been me for a very long time. That they don't last. 1 year, 2 years, we are friends. I'm close to this person. I didn't have a lot, but people don't stay long. Even right now, I can tell you that it's seasonal. Friendships are seasonal. Jobs seasonal. Everything is seasonal in my life. It doesn't stay long. I've never had a job that's longer than. Oh, I have. I actually worked for one company for about 3 years. That's the last company I actually worked for. I have been jobless for 7, 8 years now. I've not worked in a company for 7 or 8 years now, and I don't plan to ever work in a company ever again. So this shows you a pattern of the life that I've been living, that friendships were not really supposed to last because somehow it just doesn't work out. Eventually projections start coming up, insecurities start coming up, people start competing, people start doing things that I wouldn't necessarily do, and it's disappointing, it's sad. And I felt like my heart was literally, yeah, on the line. I had to protect myself. So yes, there will be friendships. So after going through a relationship of excuse me, about 8 years, and I felt like, okay, now this is enough. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Let's try a different kind of life. Let's go out. So started going out again, while I was still in my marriage. And while I'm going out a lot again, I meet people. So I had about three friends that were consistent for about 3 years. Excuse me. We are not friends now anymore. For that 3 years, we partied, we went out, we met people, we were adventurous, we did whatever came to mind. And they're not there anymore because I chose to leave this time. So it's friendships, romantic relationships, and it's systems of jobs, it's systems of expectations of society. That is some of the things that I am decentering. That these are not for me. These do not fit into who I am. These do not make me happy. These do not fill my cup. And again, I'm the only person that is doing that in my family. So now it feels like I'm crazy. It feels like I'm controlling. It feels like I am demanding. It feels like I am cold. It feels like I feel like I'm better than anyone else. It feels they feel, most people, society, neighbors, when I say my boundary is this and that, I'm defying the rules, I'm defying the law, I am controlling, I'm trying to tell people what to do. When you are different, when you do things differently, society starts treating you differently because you are doing things differently. And that's exactly where I'm at right now. That is exactly what I'm going through at this moment, because I am decentering what people seem or deem to be normal. I am living a different life. I'm living life according to what makes me happy, what fills my cup. But society doesn't agree with that, does not feel comfortable around that. While people are decentering men, they are not wrong. While other people are decentering what they're decentering, for whatever reason, I am decentering systems. Systems as a whole. Not all of them, but the ones that are relevant to me. It is very important to understand who you are. It's very important to understand where you come from. It's very important to understand why you are here, what keeps you going, what makes you happy, so you can live a full on life. Freedom of expression, freedom of living, freedom of being the best version of yourself, the most authentic part of yourself. However, there's a trade off, however, there's a sacrifice, as usual, where society, people will gaslight you, tell you different kinds of things, and make you doubt yourself, make you doubt who you are and why you're here. But when you know yourself, when you are comfortable in your own skin, no one can tell you who you are. So I love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Love and light.